This is Thursday, the 8th of October, recording this at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I'm going to take a look at the British Pound versus a couple different pairs here this morning. Kind of mixed results, as you can see. For example, the British Pound versus the Japanese Yen weekly, still bearish, but the daily and 4 hour still they are bullish. And then we look at the British Pound versus the U.S., kind of a similar situation on this weekly daily 4 hour chart. Then we move over into the intraday charts, and of course at 7 a.m. this morning we had some reports out. So I'm going to go ahead and drill down to those two pairs. First up, the British Pound versus the U.S. dollar, and got rid of some old drawings there. So first off, we're going to look at the daily chart, which is over here on the left, and we're going to draw a fib series from this Coppock Curve high, is what I call this, to that Coppock Curve low in here, in order to get some bearings here on what's happening. And based on that, you can see that we've come up nearly to the 50% retracement up in here. Looking at the 4 hour versus the 16 hour chart, you can see our 4 hour Kumo is still beneath the 16 hour Kumo. Now, we just had a series of reports, bunch of reports at 7 a.m. Eastern Time on the British Pound, and we had a dramatic big pull back, and as you can see, we've come right back down to the 38% fib line here, and currently our 4 hour Coppock Curve has crossed down, showing a bearish divergence within the context of this daily bullish divergence over in here. So that's a counter trend trade, I would call it right now, to the south. And we're right in an area of support in here with the pivot line and the 38% fib line on the British Pound US dollar. So it's waiting to see if that's going to confirm a bounce there and continue higher. But so far, you can see the Coppock Curve on the 4 hour chart has given us a bearish divergence. So that's on the British Pound versus the US. On the British versus the Japanese Yen, our fib series that I mentioned recently still intact, and we've been moving north. We still do have overhead resistance, of course, on the daily chart with the Kumo on both the British Pound, Japanese Yen, and the British Pound versus the US dollar, as you can see. Our 4 hour is still beneath our 16 hour, and we have a 4 hour Coppock Curve cross down on this pair as well. And again, on this pair, we're down to an area of possible support in the pivot line area right in here. So again, we're waiting to see if that's going to be support or not, or if this is going to turn back down. So far, again, we're in a counter trend 4 hour bearish crossover here based on the Coppock Curve within the context of a bullish daily. So if price finds support here, then what we'll see eventually is we'll see that 4 hour Coppock Curve crossing back up, as it did earlier back down in here, and as it did back down in here at that lowest low back in here around the S3 line. So waiting to see if that happens again, and not trying to predict or anything, but so far prices over the last few minutes has been consolidating in these areas of support I just mentioned, but we do not have a confirmation, as I just mentioned, on those two pairs regarding the 4 hour Coppock Curve. So that's the key signal to me that I would be watching. And of course, you can drill down to 4 hour and 30-minute charts to see that exact entry point.